All right, so we're gonna actually go ahead, and I had asked you guys as you walked in to read the board. This will be, there was something written here every day. It's not typically, like, I don't have you come in, and most of the time I don't have you start doing work. So it won't be like a ticket in the door or something, just busy work to keep you going. What's going to be on the board is stuff to, so as soon as the bell rings, I can start teaching. So for today, I did ask you to pick up 3 things. So if you didn't read the board and didn't get a chance to do this, why don't you come on up now? There are different piles right here. Come on up and grab them. No, that was me, because there was chaos today. So everybody here has all 3 that are still sitting? Oh. Okay, now everybody's got all 3. So this is today, this is just what we're gonna go through today. Your homework's very similar to what I'm assuming is your homework in all your classes. Just get your syllabus signed. That's also always going to be listed up here. It'll always be in red or orange or pink, so that like family of colors will always be your homework. So you can, if you are a person who writes down homework, which by the way, you probably all should be that kind of person who writes down what's for homework. It'll always be right there, and you can write it down at the start of class or at the end of class. Either way works for me. So I did ask you to pick up 3 things. We're going to start with the chapter 1 packet, which looks like this one right here. So I do packets instead of having handouts or sheets of paper every day. I do packets. In this packet, you'll see if you start to flip through it, there's a variety of stuff. Like it starts off with notes, plain old regular notes like you might normally do in a notebook. I do here in the packet. And then you'll see that I have some places for practice. And then like Regents questions. That's kind of going to be the system that I do for notes. There'll be notes, practice, and then some Regents practice. That's how it's going to go almost every day. So some of these pages are notes, some of them are practice, some of them are homework. So instead of making copies every day, I stay late and make a copy once a chapter. So that's why I do packets. I could do it sheet by sheet, but then it takes more of my time. So that's why I go with the packets. So we do 9 chapters this year. This is the first one. So you already have the packet for chapter 1. We're not doing anything in it today. I just wanted you to have it. I did realize I forgot to hole punch it. I will normally hole punch every single thing I give you, and I'm going to give you some time at the end. I have a giant hole puncher that goes through the whole packet. So it's there, right over there at the end of class if you want to use it. And you can hole punch other classes' stuff too, not just mine. So I do the hole punching because I know that organization is not most of our favorite things in the world. Some of you are really good at it. And if you are already organized and you've got that down, do you then. Whatever works for you, go ahead and do that. But what I need from you is I need to make sure you bring this packet to class with you every day during chapter 1. What I personally would do, if I was in this situation, I would have like a homework folder or a folder I carry around with me all day, and I'd put this in it. And I would bring it to class every single day. Then when we get to chapter 2, I would take my chapter 2 packet and put that in my homework folder. And I would put this in a binder that I leave at home or in my locker or somewhere safe that it just lives there. Then I would do the same thing when chapter 2 is over. I'd put that in the binder and then just carry around chapter 3. Because I can tell you in December, we won't need this packet. We'll be on to a different packet. But I don't want you to throw away your packets. We do have a Regent, so another final, just like last year where you had your living environment Regents. We have another one of those, and it covers the stuff we start tomorrow until the stuff we do in June. So you will want to have those packets still around until the end of the year. again, you do whatever works for you, as long as when you come to class every day, you have the current packet we're working. Not checking them, and we'll do like binder checks or packet checks or whatever. But if you don't have it, you can't take the notes, you can't do the work, you're unprepared for class. So just make sure you have what we're working on. Make sense? Speaking, so I'm done with that. So you can put that again somewhere. If you want to hole punch it, we can do that. Just put it off to the side for now. The next thing we're going to look at is the purple packet. This is the other thing that will need to come to class with you every single day. It's called the Earth Science Reference Tables. I will call it your ESRT. Any idea what ESRT stands for? What do you think the ES is? Earth Science. What do you think RT is? Reference table. So instead of saying your Earth Science reference table, I will lovingly call this purple packet your ESRT, Earth Science Reference Table. So if it ever, that's something that will usually be put on this board over here. It'll say, take out your ESRT. And when I say that, just grab your purple packet. It's purple for a reason. I'm hoping it's I know it's going to be the only purple thing I give you all year. So that way, when you open your folder or your binder, it's the only purple thing and you could just grab it. Before I started making them purple, there was one year I made 500 copies of the ESRT and still people were asking for more. So I hate making, it's 16 pages long. Making 500 copies is a little ridiculous. I also started, and I'm going to continue this year. This is an opportunity right here for extra credit for quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you still own this purple packet at the end of each quarter, I will add 1 point to your average. So at the end of quarter 1, if you had an 84, but you still own this packet, I will give you an 85. If you have a 64, I'll give you a 65. This is one of your only opportunities for extra credit in this class. So what I would like you guys all to do right now, preferably in pen, is write your name at the top. So, or the bottom, as long as your name's on it, preferably in pen. The reason I'm asking for pen is because I am going to make sure it's your reference table and not somebody else's from a different class that you cross out their name and put your name. So I'll be able to tell if you cross out somebody's name or try to white out something. So keep your reference table. If you don't have a reference table a day that we need them, I have hundreds of spare copies. They're up here. So if you ever are told to take out your ESRT and you don't have it, just come grab a different one. I'd prefer, if you still own your purple one, that you make sure you give me this one back. So again, I don't have to make copy after copy after copy of them. But these are so important that you need every day that I just want to make sure you have access to one. Why are these so important? The other name for this packet is your 16-page cheat sheet. You know what a cheat sheet is? If your teacher asked you to make a cheat sheet for math, what might you include on a cheat sheet for math? Formulas. What about if they may ask you to make a cheat sheet for a social studies class? What things might you put on there? Might put vocabulary words. Did I hear dates? Does somebody say dates? Yeah. Dates. Important people. That's what's in here, just the Earth Science version. So right off the bat, if you look in the front, what is that? Right, left, sorry. Troubles with my left and right. If you look at the middle right, what do you see on that front page? Equations, formulas, math stuff. Any math we do this year, which you can see isn't that much because there's only 4 equations, I give you the equation. You do not have to memorize the equation in this class, because really I care whether you can use it, not if you can memorize it. Important dates. If you look at pages 8 and 9, this is a timeline of the whole entire Earth. So instead of knowing off the top of your head how old dinosaurs are, we're gonna be able to use this reference table to figure out how old dinosaurs are. But here's the kicker. Can anybody find on this page how old dinosaurs are? 8 and 9 kind of go together. Can you find it on there? Okay, so yep, so you got the general gist of it. Take it, some of you didn't find it still yet, right? That's fine. This cheat sheet, the thing with the cheat sheet is, I can't just hand this to you and you use it today. Each reference table, or in this case, 2 pages of the reference table, I gotta teach it to you first. But the awesome thing is, when do you get to use a cheat sheet? Test, quiz, anything. Labs, homeworks, classwork, test, quiz, Regents. You get this 16-page cheat sheet. That's got, last year, I'd say about 67 of the 101 questions around the Regents. About 67 or 68 of them used this. Anyway, making a connection there? What connection did you just make? You have the answers, enough to pass, right here. Enough to pass the Regents, the answers are right here. The problem is, just like looking at this one, looking for how old dinosaurs are, you gotta learn it first. But I'm gonna make sure you guys know how to use it, all 16 of these pages, like it's the back of your hand. So you guys are really good at using this reference table. So again, this is the other thing that has to come to class with you every single day. Okay? And you get extra credit for it. So that's that. We're not going to use it actually for a couple of days, but you have it now. So that's the packet in your reference table. And now we're just going to quickly, hopefully, go through a little bit of the syllabus. I'm not going to read it all to you. You guys are capable of reading. Just some important things right off the bat. So I am Mrs. Ritz. It is just like the cracker. So you can spell it, say it. Unfortunately, I'm not related to those people because as much as I love my job, if I owned the Ritz Cracker Company, probably wouldn't be a teacher. I would be staying at home and drinking my coffee on my patio like I did all summer. Anyway, here's how you get a hold of me. So you know my classroom. Here's my phone number for the classroom phone number. Emails there. I also am a huge fan of my Google Voice. You guys are welcome to text me. So I'm giving you my number. It's not my actual cell phone number. It's my Google Voice number. It is turned on Do Not Disturb in the middle of the night. So if you ever feel the need to text me for something, go ahead and text me any time of the day because it's turned off, like it's on silent. It won't bother me if I'm sleeping. But if you're thinking about earth science and you have a question, ask it when you're ready to ask it, because I would rather you ask it because I'm super excited that you're thinking about earth science. So text me if you want to. If your parents need to, it's right there. They're welcome to text me too. I am available outside of school, except I do ask if you give me a 24-hour notice. So I'm not one of the teachers that stays after school every day. I go home if nobody needs me. On that same note, though, I am available anytime you need me. You just need to give me a warning. I do have 2 kids at home. I'm the one who's home after school. My husband works late till later in the day. So I have to do all the mom running around things that just like your parents do. So I just need to figure out who's going where and when. So if you want to stay after, don't come to me today, especially at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and say, Mrs. Ritz, can you stay after? Because I just need more warning than that. So if you want to say, hey, Mrs. Ritz, can you stay after tomorrow? I almost always will say, absolutely, I'll stay after with you tomorrow. I'm also available during lab periods or my planning periods if you ever need some help. So you're welcome to come down. You can come down any first period, any third, any fourth, or 7, 8, or 9. So period 1, I have labs going on. Period 3, every other day labs. Period 4, every other day labs. Right now, 7, 8 is my planning, but like I said, you're welcome to come down, and 9 is my lunch. So if you're available during any of those, come down and see me if you need help. So that's when you're available. This statement here says no cheating. And I'm not just talking about like cheating on a test or a homework. I'm also talking about if you're in lab and you got nothing to do in lab and you're working on, let's say, your math homework, and you're sitting next to somebody and you're like, can I just have your math homework? And they give it to you. I'm going to tell your math teacher that you didn't do your own work, and that, or that you were the teacher who gave, or the kid that gave somebody else your answers. So I don't like cheating, whether it's in my class or somebody else's class, but I am all for, if you're doing your math homework and you're like, can you explain question number 2 to me? I'm all for you guys working together and getting your work done too. So that works for me. Down here is just what course description and like the goals of the class. We'll go through those later in the, like, we don't need to do that today. Here is where your grade comes from. So we will have quizzes, homeworks, labs, and your chapter tests. So obviously labs, you don't do labs in this class, you have your own lab period. Just like last year, you have your own class, your own lab, but you do not get a grade in lab. So your report card will never say like Earth Science Lab and give you a grade. Whoever your lab teacher is, whether it's me, Mr. Meager, or Mr. Winters, I will take those grades from those classes and they count as 30% of this class, which has good and bad, or good or bad. The great thing is, I think you can do really good on labs. Labs, you could get 100 on every lab if you wanted. You can work with somebody. You can ask for help on a lab. You can use your notes. You can use a book. Any of that stuff to do really good in lab. So you can have a really, really good lab grade, which is good because lab and tests are worth almost the same amount. Tests are worth 40%. But I know that some people aren't great test takers. You can't ask for help. You can't work with a partner. You can't look up answers on a test. So if you do bad on a test, but you do good in lab, they will really balance each other out. So I think it's a really good, even though that 30% is a lot, I think it really helps to balance your grades out. Homeworks, I do have them work 20%. If you look down here a little bit, I do give homework about 2 to 4 times a week. I promise you, I will never give you homework just to keep you busy. So I'm not like a fan of spending hours and hours doing earth science homework. I think that's a waste of your time. My homeworks will always take 5 to 15 minutes. It's taking you like 20, 30 minutes to do your earth science homework. One, you could just be not really paying attention and you could be really on your phone or doing other things. And yes, sitting in front of your earth science homework for that long, but that doesn't mean you're working on it that long. So one, be honest with yourself. Is it really taking you that long? 2, if you're really putting in the effort and it's taking you a half an hour or more to do your homework, something's wrong. Either I didn't teach it good enough or you didn't learn it good enough and we need some help. So just message me, whether it's on Teams or text me, and we'll figure it out. If you tell me you've been working hard and you still don't get it, move on. We'll figure it out. So I don't want you spending a lot of time on homework is what I'm trying to tell you. But on that same note, I will give you homework and it'll be about 5. I will never give you more than like 10-ish. So maybe I might make it up to 12 one day, but a lot of times it will be between 5 and 10 questions for homework. Not a lot, just enough to check to make sure you knew what we were doing. I really ask that you please put in the effort on those 5 or 10 questions, because that way you know, and I know if you get it. I also I only grade on completion though. So if you do it, you'll get 100. If you don't do it, you get a 0. If you do 5 out of 10, you'll get a 50. So yes, of course you could cheat, but you're only cheating yourself at that point. I know it sounds like every other teacher, but if you don't do the homework, you won't understand it. End of story. Questions yet? Are you always going to be this quiet or just today? Okay, we'll figure it out together. Tests and quizzes. I'm going to try to do a very short quiz, maybe once a week or at least every other week. And that's not a punishment. It's again, just getting you ready for the test. Make sure you're comfortable. Just like you practice for a game, you have a bunch of practices and then one important game. It's the same deal here. We're going to have a bunch of quizzes that'll get you ready for a test. Quizzes and tests are old Regents questions, so that again, that you're getting ready for the championship game at the end, the Regents. Okay, sports analogies. They fall flat with you guys. If you're absent, so we already kind of talked about that. Everything will be posted on Teams. I don't do like the whole assignments and all the things on Teams. And we'll look at this once you guys get your computers. I just have it in the discussion section. I post every day, like today, it will say whatever day today is. Today is Wednesday, September 6th. It'll say that right there. And then I'll just bullet point what I did and include that link to a video so you can watch it if you're absent. Does that mean you have to watch it when you're absent? No, but it's on you to get the notes and the homework you've missed if you don't watch the video. If you're absent and an assignment is due, so if you had homework due today and you were absent today, it's your job to show me that homework tomorrow then, which I think is common sense. If you're absent today, show me your homework tomorrow. If I give you homework today and you're absent, I'm not expecting you to have it done tomorrow. You get another day to do it. So if I give you homework today, let's say page 1 was due today or due tomorrow, but you're absent today, I'll give you until Friday to do page 1. Does that make sense? Or am I saying it wrong? Okay, good. Just like any other class. So it's all there. The only thing is I'm not going to chase you down. If you were absent, I'm not going to remember who was absent yesterday when I'm taking attendance today. Just show me, hey, Ms. Ritz, here's my homework, and I'll give you the credit for it. Easy enough? I don't give you textbooks. I know most of you, if I gave you a book, it would sit in your locker and you'd never see it again. Not my first day. But I also know that there are some of you who like books, whether you like to look stuff up or you like to double check what you're doing. If you're that person, I have hundreds of textbooks that I will gladly let you borrow or keep if you really want to keep an earth science textbook. Okay. Lastly, that's what we're going to do. You guys can read it. And then the last page is your homework. Just like all your other classes, officially your parents are supposed to read this, go through it. By signing this, your parents are agreeing that they understand that you have to do your labs to take the regents. You get where your grades broken down. So by signing this, they're agreeing to that and hopefully won't come at me later in the year and say, you never told me of this. So it's there. And it goes for you guys too. By signing it, you can't tell me that I'd never told you that homework's graded on completion or something like that. Okay? Few random things about me and my classroom. So first of all, if there's a fire drill, you go out the door, turn to the right, go outside. Same thing if you were as last year, if you were in living environment, you went out these doors. Nothing's changed there. One thing that I do a little differently is when you leave my room, so we still have the passes just like last year. It's a weird pet peeve of mine. It's actually not that weird, but I hate when I'm in the middle of teaching and people raise their hand and ask me if they could go to the bathroom. The reason I hate it is because I think you're like actually listening to me and have a question or want to contribute to class. And then you disappoint me by saying, can I go to the bathroom? So my answer is yes, you can go to the bathroom. I will never tell someone, no, you can't go to the bathroom. Because you gotta go, you gotta go. I get it, especially because I think it's after lunch for a lot of you. So go to the bathroom whenever you want. One person at a time, and to keep track of that, I have this little light button here, basically my occupied sign. If it's blank like it is right now, you can go to the bathroom. If it's lit up like this, it means you can't go to the bathroom. What I'm asking you to do is if you gotta go, stand up, grab the pass, push the button on your way out, turn it on, then turn it off on your way back in. So you do not have to raise your hand and ask me. I have a feeling I'm going to have a sign-out sheet. I think it's going to be new school rules. So I'll let you know if that comes around. Other than that, you get up and go. The thing is, if you are gone for 25 minutes, no one else in the room can leave. So if you're out abusing the system, which by the way, I will notice if you're doing that and we'll pick it up with the principals and we'll figure it out and we'll stop abusing it. But if you're abusing it, no one else can go. So if you're out wandering the halls for 25 minutes, none of your classmates can go to that. So they're going to be mad at you. Lastly, phones. Just like the school rule, you can't have phones during instruction. So when I'm teaching, when I'm talking, you're not touching your phones. I don't care if they're on the desk. If you want to leave them on the desk, clearly if your phone is here, you're not using it. I can see you're not using it. So that's fine with me. You don't have to keep them hidden. I kind of do it if you're using your phone and it's not a, like if you're just glancing at it, or one day you're having to need your phone. I get it. Talk to me first. There is something going on. Talk to me. I have I have two girls at home, one very anxiety-filled child who talks to me a lot. So I will tell you if my kid is having a bad day, and I may have to be on my phone. It's happened before. I definitely, so I have my Apple Watch. I very rarely get phone calls. So if I'm getting a phone call, you will see me check my watch, and I have it programmed in for the school and the doctors, and my parents are the only ones who ever call me. So you will see me doing it. I know you guys will do it every once in a while too. The first thing that's going to happen is you're going to get the teacher eyeballs from me. You guys know what I mean, right? So you're going to get the look. I'm going to glare at you. It's either a mom look or a teacher look, whatever you want to call it. Okay, it is what it is. Don't feel bad about it. If I give you the look, stop doing whatever the heck you're doing. And don't do it again. I appreciate it. If you do it again, I'm just going to ask, first, you can talk to me. If it's something going on, talk to me. I'm very understanding. But if it's nothing going on and you're just waiting, counting down the minutes till the class is over, and you keep checking your phone, I'm going to ask you just to put it up here. If it's a problem every single day, you're going to have a spot on my desk. Look for your phone. I hate collecting phones. Please do not make me collect phones because I hate it. Because people leave it and they forget them, and then it's mass chaos. So please do not make me collect phones. But I will if I have to. And then, of course, the school rule is I could take them to the office if I need to, and you can pick them up at the end of the day. I really don't want to do that. So just use them responsibly. There will also be times when I either end early or just it's like a work period. If it's a work period, you can plug your headphones in and work with your phones out. But obviously there's a difference between working and using your phone. So you guys are old enough to be able to figure this out on your own, but please do not make me babysit you in your phone. Good. Did not end that. What time did I take it out? Oh, you guys got time. Socialize amongst yourselves. If I think of something, I will let you know. You're welcome to go on your phone. Oh, you're welcome to have a snack in here, as long as you clean up after yourselves.